Hey, welcome to another episode of Quintessential Comics, episode 18, with special guest DK, aka John D. Corrigan, or Kartigan. Now I'm just thinking of Jimmy Corrigan. Oh, that funny guy. I'm Alice Quinn, your host.
I'm Matt Garcia, your co-host.
And we've got some great show lined up for you today. Just a little bit of great show lined up for you today. Before we get started, I just want to do a special announcement. Actually, a couple of special announcements here. Lots of exciting stuff going on. First off, we're going to Wizard World Toronto. That's right. Not only are we going to be there covering the event like we usually do, we're going to have a booth, a fan group table. So find us in the fan group table section. We will have free giveaways for our fans. You come up, say hi to us. You might get a button, might get a patch. Who knows? So come on over. Say hi. We're gonna be. I'm gonna be conducting interviews live at the event. So you might, walk in, me chatting with Andy Belanger or whoever. Don't quote me on that. It might not happen. So come Wizard World Toronto, April 14th and 15th. T.Comix is the name of our corporation company thing. So come find me there. It'll be good times. I'm gonna bring candy. I'm bringing boombox. We're gonna be the party of the convention. It'll be awesome. So that's number one. Number two, we are bringing our first season of shows to a close. I know, so sad, right? But our season finale, we're throwing a huge party here at our studios, and you guys are all invited. April 11th. It's a Wednesday. It's going to start at 8 p.m. here at Hearth TV. Email me, and I will give you the details. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to make a Facebook event and stuff, which will be up by the time this goes live. So yeah, awesome, right? We got in live appearances at Wizard World. Party season finale party here. Just kicking it up, yo. So yeah, all those announcements and an awesome show. What a great day on Quintessential Comics here. I'm here today with John D. Kartigan, aka DK. How you doing, DK?
I'm good. How are you, Alice?
Good. DK is a artist and editor with Ace Faber, a local indie comics company. How is that?
It's good. We're finally getting some things happening. Wheels are turning. We're getting some more content out there. So, yeah, it's gonna be big.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things when you're doing independent work. You're relying on yourself. Yeah. And a couple other people who are just doing this in their spare time because it's fun. It takes a really long time for the wheels to turn and for it to actually get somewhere. So how long have you been with the company, and do you feel like you're getting somewhere now?
If you want the brief Ace Faber history lesson.
It can't take more than 20 minutes because then we're over time.
Yeah. Well, no, it's just, every time I think back tenuously, it was, I want to say about 4 years ago, I was 16 or something, and Ace of Ace Faber, Andrew, worked at Paradise just down the street, and so I remember I used to always talk to him and about just random stuff, and then he found out that I actually drew, and he's just gave me a script, and he's like, yeah, let's see how this turns out, and that was a while ago, so everything then just kind of grew out of that, and then a month later he's like, I want to actually get my company together, actually get that going, and then he actually became, I want to say it actually got incorporated about a year ago, just over, somewhere around then. And then so we actually streamlined everything because the first comic did was Lessons Learned, which is a really old webcomic, and you still find ads for it that Rob Vallone did. He's another good artist.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he. Enough about him. We're talking about me.
Let's get back on topic of DK.
Yeah. So no, but he's a good artist, and he did all those ads. So that's all we still use because it still has Ace Faber on it. So we just pushed that out. But that kind of dropped out because that was a good way to try out new artists. Because now we have a really good circuit of artists. There's Rob Vallone's working on Totem Sacred. Dove Smiley just does everything all over the place. He's doing hardware, Totem Sacred, and Lessons Learned. I think he has the Kingdoms. I'm not sure what's happening with that exactly. We have Matt Salonen. I don't know if you ever met him. Matt?
I think I've met Matt.
He's a much better artist than me, as I always tell people. But he's working on Salt Road with Jacqueline Armstrong, the 17-year-old teenage comics prodigy. That's
That is how Ace pitched her to me. He's like, all right, I got this comics prodigy. And I was like, okay.
Well, it's true. Like I'm always jealous of people that whenever I hear about young people accomplishing something with their lives, I'm just like, man, when I was like 13, I was just, in the bleachers smoking a joint, letting life go over my head, and now I'm just trying to make something of myself. So, but no, good for her. That's all the best to her. And we actually have a collected edition coming out at Wizard World Toronto, an exclusive that you can only buy there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wizard World Toronto, lots of cool stuff's been happening. I probably announced it earlier on the show, and if not, remind me. We're going to be at Wizard World Toronto with our own booth for the first time ever. Oh my god, super excited. Yeah. So there's tons of stuff going on with Ace Faber. It's a title that, it's a company that launches numerous titles in numerous verses. Which are the ones that you focus on?
There's actually just two. There's Totem Sacred, which is like the more supernatural one.
And Hardware?
And Hardware is my line, which actually I'm just getting back into. Like I did my last set of pages like almost a year ago, and then like I became the editor, so I had to like manage everyone else's story. Then finally he's just like, oh, you want to finally get a new script? Because Ace used to be the only writer on it, and then he started leaving the company. He can't actually devote time to writing. So now I had to manage all those other guys, and now finally I'm getting back into it. And I believe we have issue 2 came out in February. Issue 3 should be coming out in May, I believe. So and Aaron Fillman was actually on your show.
Aaron's part of Ace Faber.
We were lucky enough to get him. He's a very talented writer. He's a very good writer, and also he gave me a sketch. We had a launch at a couple days ago at Paradise.
I heard about that.
Yeah, he's not an artist at all, but he gave me like probably one of the best sketches I've ever had. If you go on the Facebook page of Ace Faber, which I always like haunt with all my art, I posted that sketch up, and like it's blown people away.
Nice. Yeah. So, going back a couple years, just starting out, just being like, all right, Ace, I will trust you. I will give you all this time and devotion and effort and my art. How was it, just starting out, just being like, taking that step, being, I want to make something of myself. What was it going from the notion of wanting to doing it to actually doing it? What did you find were like the challenges and stuff that you didn't expect at the beginning?
Well, even when we first started out, like we didn't know. He kind of had an idea, but we never were planning on actually. It was just us trying to like learn, pretty much. He was still trying to like figure out exactly how to put this together, how to print it out, and I was just still getting used to drawing inside panels. And I'm like, I like to think I've gotten a lot better, but you don't judge me from the backdrop I just drew. But it was totally from the beginning. It was just like worst case scenario. This is just like portfolio material. You can show someone this as like your learning process, and hopefully it's just a starting point you can get off. And then finally he decided, like he actually got really serious about it. And we buckled down. We want to do this. We had another writer who was supposed to be the editor, and he said he didn't want to fully commit to this, which is kind of how I by default became the editor position. But I think it's great, I'm glad that I'm actually like devoted about part of my time to it. Like again, with any small business, there's always that slight chance that it could all fall apart. But at the same time, I'm hoping to walk away with a good story, and
Yeah, and if you're enjoying what you're doing and you're learning, it's good. It's better than just smoking pot under the bleachers. You're doing
exactly.
something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Dave's just like, maybe.
I guess that's
yeah. So, what advice do you have for teenagers watching the show, being all like, I want to make comics?
Well, just get out there, Toronto has a really good comic scene, especially an indie comic scene like that. I mean, there's a reason why we hold TCAF. And I think if you just want to get out there and get your name out there, you can totally find some writer, or just, don't you write your own script. Like, I'm actually writing my own one-shot for Hardware right now.
Nice.
And I'm very proud of myself as well. But although I am still working on it, and it could just be terrible. But
well, the art will blow us away.
Yeah, but no, like you can always say you want to do it, but eventually you have to like buckle down and give it an attempt, and you might not get the ball rolling at once, but you're gonna have to eventually learn. Just keep doing it, putting yourself out there, right? So
yeah, so just keep trying, keep doing it. So what do you think was like the hardest part to learn? Do you letter at all? Do you do layouts?
I'm actually just started lettering on this one shot, like straight onto the page. So that's like, hopefully my penmanship is pretty decent, but who knows? Hopefully, if the Ace even said if it doesn't look good, we can just always Photoshop over it, which is, I guess, okay, but slightly assuring. But yeah, definitely when I first started like drawing, just drawing in the panel was like the hardest thing, because I knew they blew it up. I knew that it was going to be like, it was going to be shrunken down. I knew you could have like more detail, but at the same time, when it's just like you have to draw this much information in this little box, and you're just, and at some point you have to realize that you're going to have to, you can't include everything in there. So you have to just, that was one really big deal for me. Layouts was a whole other issue, which Ace and I actually Ace kind of held my hand through it. Like, before it was just like, yeah, here's just like suggested page breakdowns. You can either use them or don't. Or now it's just like, no, I want to see thumbnails of what you want this issue to look like, and I'm going to tell you if that works or not. Because like he actually has broken it down to quite a science of how word bubbles have to flow and stuff, how the page should actually look like, and how how hard it is going to be to read for anyone that doesn't even know
it's an important science. I mean, it has to flow really well. The the bubbles have to follow your eye line. Yeah. Even if you have like half page panels and the other half a big shot of Batman or whatever, you still gotta flow.
That's why I can't get into that manga stuff. Reading like backwards front, that just blows my mind right now.
Yeah, so that's cool. It's cool. So that's the most terrible segue I've ever made.
Yeah.
You guys can call it here. You can screenshot this.
Just bring your cards and just have them shift over. So clearly it's
this is the worst segue ever. So Ace Faber hardware got a new issue coming out.
Yeah, we have it. We're getting it together for May.
May. But at Wizard World, you guys have a con exclusive for Salt Road.
Yeah, Salt Road, which is Matt's comic. I colored the cover, which I was very proud of.
Nice.
Because I've kind of become somewhat of like the Renaissance go-to man at Ace Faber whenever you just need an odd job done. So I'm like the resident colorist at the moment.
Nice.
So I colored the cover for it, which Matt does again really good work for it. I really highly recommend you guys go look out for his name, Matt Salmon. He did the artwork. Jackie, the 17-year-old Toronto prodigy, wrote it. It's her Supernatural. She's one of those teenagers that grew up out of that love of like the actual show Supernatural and stuff.
Yeah.
So like she really wanted to get something like nice and gritty of like the Monster Hunter-esque. Although I don't really want to say that because I don't know how that flies with fans. But
it's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
They're hunting monsters and apparitions.
It's a good story though. I think it's great, and
I really enjoyed the first couple issues.
Yeah,
so
Matt's art's definitely great. This is like the collected volume because so I believe one of our earlier issues actually got sold out, and we don't have any more copies of it. So, and we don't want to keep pushing out content where we just drop readers in the middle of a story. So this is kind of like in case you missed that, you can always catch up on this.
Nice, that's really cool. So, and you guys have booths do you guys do booths at all the conventions now?
Yeah, we have a table at Wizard World Toronto. So if you come there, if you actually buy a copy, I'll be doing free sketches there. So
nice. So go guys, check out Ace Faber at Wizard World Comic Con, and you can check him out online at
acefaber.com or the Ace Faber Facebook page. So.
And they've got webcomics on there if you just want to see what this is like. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Hi guys, it's Matt with your news for this week. We got some news coming out of WonderCon, a heck of a lot from Marvel. First of all, we have, as of issue 175, Jeff Parker's Thunderbolts is done. It's over. Dave does not approve of this. It'll become Dark Avengers and add new characters like Ragnarok and Scar. Parker and artists Declan Shalvey and Kev Walker are still in the book, so I guess we'll see the same quality coming out of there, which is good. Yeah, it's good. There we go. Also, Hulk is getting a new artist in Dale Eaglesham for Hulk number 53 to match a new storyline that's going to be coming out about Mayan gods and smashing. So, he's going to get help. The Hulk is going to get help from Machine Man, She-Hulks, plural, A-Bomb, and Alpha Flight. Awesome. Yeah, Alpha Flight. Alrighty. Writer Kelly Sue DeConnick and artist Dexter Soy will be working on a new ongoing series in July from Marvel. Carol Danvers, formerly Miss Marvel, is now Captain Marvel. So, hey, check out this costume on the picture screen. There we go. Also, X-Men. The writer Brian Wood is getting X-Men Volume 4, and he's going to be picking up, and Ultimate Comics X-Men. So one writer for two franchises that are vastly different. It'd be crazy. I think it's going to be X-Men all day, every day for him. Yeah, so check that out. We've got, holy crap, more crap. We've got Avengers Academy number 31 and number 32 tying into Avengers vs. X-Men. There's some covers for you for those guys. And to wrap it up, we have the Punisher series going into space with Space Punisher. He punishes space. It's going to be about space mafia. So he's going to shoot the space mafia with his space guns as he space punishes. Awesome. It's going to be written by Frank Thierry and art by Mark Teixeira. It's going to be launching July 2012 as a 4-issue miniseries. So that's the best news of the con as far as I'm concerned, really. No, I don't. Punisher in a bubble. It's cool. Space Punisher. Alrighty. Yeah, and from Zenescope at WonderCon also. They are the creator of the Grimm Fairy Tales franchise. They're trying to raise money to create a pilot for an animated version. They need $175,000, and they're using Kickstarter, which, as you may or may not know, has recently been used to create a crap load of money for Double Fine Entertainment, who make video games. They just raised $3 million for their latest project. And also there was, $900,000 in 42 hours by Brian Fargo for a game called Wasteland 2. So hopefully it'll work out for him. If you want to give him a shout, give him money. They're going to close the Kickstarter thing in May, so get in there, do a search for it. That's Grimm Fairy Tales. Awesome. So yeah, cool stuff. That's your news for this week.
Hey, Alice here. So this week on collections, we're still getting the segment together. So before we get all the really cool people with like their hundreds of dollars worth of Transformers or like teacups, I keep bringing up teacups because I really like teacups, whatever. So before we get all those awesome people on, I thought I'd show off my little modest comic collection of my favorites that are really special to me. And this is a comic show, so I'll start off with my comic collection, and if we have time later and nobody does collections, then I'll show you my convention pass collection, or I'll just take a picture of it, which I have. It's on Instagram. So first up, Batman, Harley and Ivy. This one's signed by Bruce Timm, and I really like Bruce Timm. He's like the one that created Harley Quinn, so yeah. Pretty awesome. I think he did. Is that our Paul Dini? He's cool. He's a cool dude. He worked on Batman the Animated Series and some cool stuff. And my friend, Alex Hoffman, he used to work on the site. He got this for me, which is really nice. I also have top 10 number 1, Ho-Man. Number 1. You can zoom in if you want. Super cool. Okay, so that's that. I got 100 Bullets signed by Bride Nazarello at a convention, and that was pretty cool. It says to Alice, which is pretty cool. I don't have that. Well, I do, but it's more on like, I don't have a lot of issues signed. I have a lot of like books signed because I don't really get one. This one, it's got Stan Lee and Spider-Man on it, and one of the artists signed it. So I was like, oh my God, Stan Lee and Spider-Man. That's really cool. This one's an issue of Bone. You can't see it. I'm going to take it out. But it's signed to Warren, who sold it back to a comic shop, which I eventually got it from. There you go. It says to Warren right up there at the top. Pretty freaking funny. Warren, thanks for the comic. Lost Girl Prologue. This is a comic they premiered at Fan Expo before the show was on, and I got it signed by the actors before like they were cool, and I was like, yeah, whatever. And now they're huge stars and whatnot, and I interviewed them. You can check it out on my Vimeo page. I got an issue of Usagi Yojimbo, which is pretty cool, which is like really cool. Anyway, I keep saying it's pretty cool, but obviously if these are my favorite comics, they've got to be pretty cool. I have this one from Promethea side cover. I really like the fact that it's a side cover, and I got it in Halifax at Strange Adventures, so that was pretty cool. Free Scott Pilgrim. These were free comics, but they're still really important to me. I have both of the free Scott Pilgrim comics. I think from 2007, and this one's from before. No, I think this one's from after in 2008. I have 2 original issues of Akira, which is pretty cool. When I was 14, I worked in my first comic book shop, and they paid me in comics because I was 14 and I let them. And this is what I got. I got Akira. And I showed you this once before when we were at Dragon Lady. Crime suspense stories, an EC comic from like Golden Age. Before Wertham got it there and messed things up with the Comics Code Authority. So there you go. That is my favorite comics of my collection. I've got lots more that are like trades. I don't really get issues anymore, as I probably have talked about multiple times on the show. So yeah, there you go. That's your collection for this week. If you have a collection you want to share with us, send me an email at t.comics@gmail.com. There you go. Yeah.
Hi guys, it's Matt again with your weekly releases. From Dark Horse, we have Axe Cop Volume 3 trade. If I had a guitar, I would just wail on it right now. Axe Cop. Awesome. That's really fun. It's always fun. We've got BPRD hardcover Volume 3. Get your Hellboy and friends on. And Eerie Presents Hunter hardcover. I have nothing to say about that. I have nothing. That's... Coming out of DC, we've got Flashpoint Green Lantern trade, and another Flashpoint as well, which would be Flashpoint The Flash trade. Flash. Also, there's Justice League Rise and Fall. I almost just lost my voice there for saying Flash too much. Dave doesn't like Rise and Fall. That's a fall of his finger pointing downwards. Anyways, finally from DC we have Red Robin, 7 Days of Death. That's a lot of death. Because, Red Robin, hey. From Image we have Last of the Greats trade, Volume 1. And that's all we have out of Image. And finally from Marvel, we've got Annihilators, Earthfall. Annihilators. Yeah, awesome. We got Fear Itself, Dracula hardcover. Which I'm totally Siri about. Siri, how good is Dracula? It sucks a lot. We've got Fear Itself, Spider-Man, also hardcover, which marginally better, perhaps. Less magic Dracula and whatnot. Anyways, speaking of Hulks, we've got Incredible Hulks, World War Hulks, hardcover. That's a lot of Hulks. So many Hulks this week for you, into your eyeballs. We've got Ultimate Comics, X-Men Volume 1 hardcover. Get your Ultimate on, because hey, that's newsy. And Venom, Trade Volume 1. Venom's cool. Venom's always cool. Everyone loves Venom. He's so lovable. He's so huggable, and he'll eat your spleen. Finally, we have Wolverine Goodbye Chinatown hardcover. And that is the last release we're going to tell you about this week. So enjoy and have fun.
So that's our episode today for you on Quintessential Comics. We hope you've enjoyed this episode, and we hope that you'll come out and see us in person at Wizard World April 14th and 15th. And before that, for our season finale party right here in the studio, April 11th. We've had a great time. Thank you. Subscribe to our channel. Like us all the time. Everywhere.
All the time.
All the time. Everywhere. We'll see you next week, Friday, lunchtime, on Quintessential Comics. Hey, you might be wondering, what? The episode just ended. Why are you back here? Well, I'm telling you the ways you can support Quintessential Comics online. If you care to, please do check out our various sites and like and or comment on these videos and or other stuff I do. Firstly, check out Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, YouTube, or the website. Thanks for your support. Love ya!
That's so PG-13.